Hello friends, welcome and happy Halloween. I hope that you guys had a wonderful Halloween. I'm sure you did. Today's Halloween. It's a Sunday though. Chances are you celebrated last night. I know I did. And I wanted to make a little video, and there's been, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on with this channel where I never know. I want to make videos, but I don't want to have any extra editing time devoted, because I'm trying to figure out what I could do where I'm doing minimal editing but still doing something where it's still interesting, because I know that as a viewer I don't want to watch just whatever. Instead, what I came up with was, figured I would do a little ranking system where I go through different series, discuss them, and where, you know, it will be minimal editing. It'll mostly just be me throwing up a movie here and just discussing it while it's up here. And then I will then go through, take out the random moments where I just don't talk for 30 seconds, because that happens. Most of the times that you see an edit, it's because I just didn't say anything for an extended period. So that's one of the main reasons that I can't do 100% unedited videos. Otherwise, there will just be so much dead air. Like right there. So, yeah, it's Halloween, so I wanted to rank the Halloween films, and given the controversy that series is currently in the midst of, figured it's a pretty good safe bet to talk about it because it's Halloween Kills. You guys do not like that movie. Holy shit. But yeah, we're gonna get into all the different rankings. Chances are, I have a feeling I have some weird placement of things. I know that I like some stuff that other people don't like, and I know that I have some stuff that are pretty universally loved that I'm not a fan of. So I can't even say not a fan of. I love them all. Let's just get this started. Number 12. This one is very, very obvious. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This movie is the biggest piece of shit. This movie made me physically ill the first time I watched it. There are few films that I feel like truly encapsulate being shitty as much as this one does. It takes everything that Zombie was able to pull off from the original, which I don't think he pulled off many things, but we'll get into that. But the few things he did pull off, he just kind of goes back on all of that and creates one of the most generic and just awful films I have ever seen. The best scene in the entire movie is the hospital sequence where Michael's just causing mayhem, and it's revealed to be a dream sequence. It's times like that where I just have to shake my head. And also, just Rob Zombie's complete butchering of the Laurie Strode character. How do you fuck up Laurie Strode so bad? And, you know, I don't blame Scout Taylor Compton for it, because she's just an actress. She's just trying to do her best, and, you know, these kinds of roles, actors love to play them, and it just didn't work out. This one is not good. Not good. And think that pretty much, trying to think, what's the sole positive from this movie? Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif is the one positive here. He gives a good performance, but otherwise, like, the mask is falling apart. It's just doesn't look good. The whole Michael speaks, he says die. Like, that's bad. There's the whole unicorn stuff. Rob Zombie still bringing Sherry Moon Zombie, despite the fact that she fucking died in the last one. And just, yeah, everything about it was just bad. I fucking hate that movie. It is the one film on here that I would say I fucking despise. And I don't watch it. It's not something that gets replayed. I have the Halloween box set here. It does not. I skip over Halloween 2. All right, we talked too much about this. Number 11, Halloween Resurrection. That's right. I dislike this movie more than Rob Zombie's remake. It's got a very silly webcam plotline. Like, that's dumb. The webcam plotline sucks. Yep, I'll give that to you right now. Like, yep. But I don't think that is the biggest issue with this movie. The biggest issue with this movie is that Michael isn't Michael. He does not feel like himself at any point in this movie. He just seems like a generic bad guy. He's like walking through doors and just killing people to kill them in brutal ways. Like, there's no fun to anything he's doing. It's essentially, whoever wrote this clearly did not have any idea of the Halloween series, I would say. Who wrote this even? I know Rick Rosenthal. He's our first return director, which, I don't know. I don't think Rosenthal really has a good grasp on the series. And I think that he just is trying to make a very generic slasher. There's the Busta Rhymes aspect, which, I mean, how much even needs to be said about that? It's bad. Like, it's really, really bad. Like, one of the worst things that I can even think of. And the whole karate thing, what were they thinking? And then they don't even show us Tyra Banks' death. The lead, that Bianca, whatever, Cultigier, I don't know, Bianca something. She was like on sitcoms. She was bad. Why you then do, what the fuck? Not Sean William Scott. Something, I can't. Three names. Save the Last Dance guy. Him. He's in it, and he like fucking challenges Michael. Oh yeah, that's another problem with this movie. They kill off like 4 of the people in the house in a span of about 5 minutes. I don't mind when they like do a massive build up and then they kill off a bunch of people at once. Like, I don't mind that. You can absolutely do that because I always view it as going for a shock factor. What I don't like is when you're then just dominoing kills. Like, I don't need you to then, oh, he's revealed, and then it's like, oh, okay, so now we move from this kill to this kill to this kill. It's like, try and stretch it out a little more, because it really comes across as bad writing, because it kind of says to me that they're like, oh, well, we can't extend this. We don't know how to keep the characters in the house once they know Michael is actually there. So because of that, we're going to extend this so long to the point that when they finally do find out that Michael is around, that they're not going to be able to escape because Michael's just going to kill them all at once. Again, just bad writing. I guess the last main thing I need to talk about with this one is just the whole opening with Jamie Lee Curtis. It's so bad. Everything about it is just awful. She set up some kind of crazy contraption to then trap Michael, and Like, this is the same guy that walked through a fucking door to get to you. And her solution was just to, like, to hide and then whack him over the head. It's insane. Number 11. Rob Zombie's, or no, number 10, sorry. Rob Zombie's Halloween. So, I had definitely put this, I had this below Resurrection until recently, actually. I had a bit of a, I don't know, I've come around to this film, mostly in how bad it is. The charm of the awfulness. Like, I used to really hate the kid, Daeg Faerch, whatever. I just didn't think he was a good Michael. Now, I don't think he's a good Michael, but that's why I enjoy. Like, if it was a good Michael, I would be disappointed that he is in this trash. There's actually, and this is a good time to bring this up, there is a re-edit that I quite enjoy. It's a fan edit. I believe it's on YouTube. I feel like it's gotten taken down, but it was up there the last 2 Halloweens, I believe. And it's a re-edit of Rob Zombie's Halloween films where it gets rid of all of the prequel nonsense and just makes it into a reboot. And it uses the hospital stuff from Halloween 2 at the end. So it doesn't completely work because of just how that movie ends. That it's not 100% satisfying, but it's still pretty good. I don't know. I thought they did a good enough job with it, especially because, and this is the kicker, they used the score from Halloween 2018 within the re-edit. So it showed me how they could have actually pulled this off and done it well. I think there's just elements here that don't work. But I think that re-edit kind of opened my eyes to the original film, because like Malcolm McDowell, and I think this is further evidenced by his performance in the second one, he's working his ass off here. Like, he's really trying, and you get to see, because in the second one he's not trying at all. He's in full skate by mode. And so it's cool to actually see him attempting something here, because he doesn't attempt anything later on. It gets to be pretty brutal, I would say, with him in Halloween 2. But here he's actually legitimately trying, and feels like maybe the last time that Malcolm McDowell actually attempted to like act, instead of just doing what he's done the last 15 years. Oh, and I really have to give Tyler Mane some props, because I think his Michael is legitimately terrifying. Like, put me in an alley with multiple different Michaels through the years, and Tyler Mane is one where it's like, yep, I'm not making it out. Nope, not a chance. That guy is fucking murdering me, and murdering me in some really brutal way. Versus most of the other ones where it's like, I think you can get away for the most part. All right, number 9, Halloween 5. Yes, I'm not a huge fan of many aspects of what they did with the Jamie Lloyd character after such a brilliant setup with the 4th one, but I really like the weird, like, ethereal style that this film has. It's mostly, I think it's because it's directed by this French filmmaker that kind of his thing is just being weird. and it makes for a very interesting film. I feel like it kind of stands out for its kind of Art Nouveau look. Unfortunately, the script really blows, doesn't do much positive, but it's still an interesting journey. Danielle Harris still knocks it out of the park. She just does a fantastic job. Donald Pleasence is kind of in like skate by mode, but they're introducing some interesting concepts here. This is where the Cult of Thorn first gets introduced, and I really enjoy the whole sequence in the barn at the end. But for the most part, it's just a lot of just confusing decisions, like why kill off Rachel in the way that they did. Just, I don't know. It sounds like I liked this movie less than I liked like Rob Zombie's Halloween. I just don't have as much to say about 5. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I will put this on, and I feel like that's a thing too with this whole tier. As you get lower and lower on the list, or higher and higher depending on how you look, the more likely I am to watch the film. So I'm more likely to watch Halloween 5 than I am the other films, like the Rob Zombies or Resurrection. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. Some I just am gonna have a lot to say. Just like with number 8. Number 8 is Halloween 2. And this is where we get into the controversial decisions, because I know some people are upset with that ranking. They don't like it. And I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I know, I get it. Halloween 2 used to be... I used to have it like... I think it was behind the original. That was probably the only one that I had like ahead of Halloween 2. That has changed quite a lot, because I don't know. I don't think it's very. I almost said I don't think it's very good. It's fine. It's just I don't think it's the brilliant continuation that a lot of people seem to think. I think it's pretty slow. I think that Laurie just has nothing to do. I think that her love interest has so many laughable like moments. Like he slips on blood and passes out. Then one time he just passes out in the car with Laurie and like slams on the... It's just really lazy writing, which Carpenter has even admitted he just drank nonstop while he was writing that script. So, I mean, I don't mind I think that the Laurie Michael sibling thing is one of the most interesting aspects of the Halloween series, and is what set it apart from most slashers. So I don't have any issue with that, and it's actually kind of a reason that I enjoy parts of Halloween 2. And another thing that I really like about Halloween 2 are the stalking sequences with Michael. Him, as you like, because they kind of show a little bit in the first film with him stalking Annie and to a lesser extent Laurie. The over the shoulder, like watching. That's why it's usually like the Annie at the window. This kind of expands upon that and shows a little more. And so I think those building blocks there, obviously it started in the first one, but it keeps expanding to the point that it goes into what we get in Halloween 2018, which I think is amazing. Like the peak. It's so cool how it follows him along. And so I think that, you know, without this here, the stalking sequences here, then we probably wouldn't get that. But that said, even look at that stalking sequence, and there's moments of brilliance, but then when it's essentially like when you're telling a joke and the setup, the punchline just doesn't really hit for many of the kills. The hot tub death, or the topless death, I can't say hot tub because I don't know what the fuck that thing is that's in this hospital, but that death, I think that most people's memory of it is like different than what it actually ends up being, because I don't think it's that impressive. I mean, people can absolutely agree with that assessment, but it's the build up, the setup is what's so good about it. But again, the punchline, I don't know, it doesn't land completely. It's fine though. God, I'm gonna have so many people to just skip to the next. We're gonna start getting into some positives. All right, number 7. So Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. Yes, this is a movie that I'm pretty sure that I could find my original movie website, or I should just say my website that I made on tripod.com. It actually, it should have it's like my worst films of all time. I'm pretty sure Halloween 3 is on there. Actually, I think Halloween 5 is on there as well. I didn't know back. I think that, especially when you're a teenager, especially in the lower end of being a teenager, so like 12, you're just kind of discovering what you like. And so for me, it was horror movies, and so I really attached myself to these series. And so when one of these series didn't quite land, I took offense to it. And so I think that's mostly what that was. But thankfully, like most of the world, I have come around to Season of the Witch. There's just so much that's good about this. Tom Atkins is amazing. He is so fucking, like, I still don't understand his relationship dynamics between like his ex-wife, his current girlfriend, random doctors. This guy is either the biggest stud or he's in a poly relationship with like everyone he meets. It's commendable. That's all I gotta say. Commendable. And I really I get such a kick out of Tom Atkins in this. I can watch him in anything, and I do. For some reason, this movie always kind of reminds me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and I think that's mostly just because of how that like paranoia following Tom Atkins around, and that the journey that he's on, it very much just reminds me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So I've always gotten a kick out of that. And so I would never support the series doing this now. I think it's very, very much established that this is the Michael Myers series. There's no reason to try and like switch and do this kind of thing again, but I commend them for doing this back in the day because it's interesting. And it also wasn't this time that we just had this established set of, okay, well, you released a movie, so then these are your options. That wasn't such a thing, especially with horror films. It wasn't okay, well, you can do this one, you can do this sequel, you have this option. Usually it was like, okay, this is done and over with. So, and the name Halloween is so, you can do so much. A film called Halloween, there's a million things that it could have been about. So then the fact that you're pigeonholing it to just be about Michael Myers, like, I understand where they're coming from. However, I mean, Halloween's about Michael Myers at this point. Like, you can't deter from that, so. Oh, and I do have to mention the score in this, as it's John Carpenter. Oh, his scores are just next level. Oh, they always end up raising just the entire, I don't know, score of the film itself. Like, that's how good it is. Number 6 is Halloween H2O, and this is one that I think it may have been overtaken by the original Halloween this month, just because of how much it's been on AMC when I've just thrown on AMC. But this is probably the film that I've watched the most this month. It's such an easy breezy film. It's fun. It's like a quick 90 minutes. I mean, I guess all of these are, but it's just how my like writing process or editing process works is I like to have movies on in the background or TV shows. I like to be stuff that I've seen before, because then I'm not focused too much on it. Like, it's not a big deal that I'm not giving all of my attention to it. It's mostly just background noise. It's just noise. And H2O is just one of those background noises that I can get so much done just having it on. Because you can stop in at any point. It's cozy. It's easy listening. There's not anything, I don't know, there's nothing too traumatic happening. The characters are light and fun. Other than Laurie, I guess. Laurie's a little bit traumatized in this. But even then, Laurie being traumatized, it's not like Laurie traumatized in, I don't know, Resurrection or in Halloween 2018. That is fucking trauma. This, it's more like, yeah, she's anniversary of a bad event, so of course she's gonna have a bad time. Rather than like Halloween 2018, where it's like, I don't think Laurie has lived a normal life since 1978. One thing that I really dig about this movie is how it kind of seems like they're setting up the whole, like, the son kind of taking over Jamie Lee Curtis and taking over the role, kind of like what they're doing in the newer films. And it seems like that's what they're doing, where, you know, the younger generation's going to, you know, save the day. That's not what happens here. Jamie Lee Curtis is the one that saves the fucking day. Josh Hartnett and Michelle Williams, they get sent off. Like, okay, you go off. Mommy's gonna fucking deal with business. And that's awesome. It always came across to me as a message from, like, Halloween to Scream of, like, okay, sit down. We're gonna have the original, you know, return to it and do some business. Obviously, I mean, I don't think H2O stands up with the original Scream or even like the second Scream. It might stand up with Scream 3. Yeah, I think Halloween 2 H2O takes Scream 3. I think that's the only one in that series that it takes. It takes the MTV show. That show sucks. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed how that like kind of transition of power that seems like it's happening, and then it's like, nope, Laurie's doing this shit. I'm really hoping that that's the angle they take with Halloween Ends, where it kind of seems like, oh, hey, I'm sure you think we're setting this up for Allison to take over, but instead it's like, no, this is a story about Laurie, and Laurie is going to leave. Like, once it's her story to end, not Allison's. So we'll see. I may have just like talked myself into not liking Halloween Ends if it doesn't end that way. I have my little thing off screen. This is my iPad. that has my list on it, and it has like I have bullet points for each of the movies, so that then I'm not just up here going this one is cool, this one, which I mean I've still done, but that way it's just cuts into a little easier. But yeah, with H2O as well, the ending, that whole ending sequence is phenomenal. Like the final 20-25 minutes, just top notch. Like legitimately top fucking notch. I love it so much. From like Laurie having her little like face off with Michael with the little glass door in between them, and then her walking up with the axe, the Michael flipping over the tables, Laurie then like taking his supposedly dead body from the morgue, the ambulance, the coroner's van, and like the whole reaching out, and just again, chef's kiss. It's great. Trying to think of what else with H2O, because I feel like I'm not fully getting into it, which is sad because I've watched H2O so much this month. All right, that's all. I'm not doing more of H2O. Number 5, Halloween: The Return of Michael Myers. For those unaware, I actually did a Real Slashers on this. Real Slashers is my Joe Blow horror video series, one of them, and yeah, I did it on Halloween 4, and so that's like a 15-minute video that pretty much gets into why I like love this movie and think it's ridiculous and so enjoyable. And yeah, go check that out if you want to see an even more detailed like explanation of this. But for the most part, it's just, I like the tone of it. It kind of has a very good Halloween feel. Rachel and Jamie are great characters. Yeah, one thing that I like about Halloween 4 that the series kind of gets away from as it goes further along is Michael being a creeper. Like, that's a pretty like firm staple of his character that I feel like kind of gets lost in some other films. That he's a stalker. He creeps people. Like, there should be more of that. I don't have quite as big of an issue with, because like Halloween Kills, let's use that as an example. I don't have an issue with him not like, this is Halloween Kills takes place over like what, a 6-hour span of time, very short amount of time, where Michael's in killing mode. He's not in setup mode. So I'm not as upset about that them not having any setup, but this kind of further shows like, okay, this is what the daytime stuff is really for, is that really setting up. This is when Michael's kind of doing his recon work. And so I think that's actually one thing that I hope they get back to with Halloween Ends, and that's one thing that will help out with the whole going 4 years into the future, is that they'll be able to have daytime stuff again. Because I think that's something that you need. You need some daytime, because you need to see Michael doing his recon work, more or less. Yeah, Loomis really, I think he kind of becomes a bit of a joke here, unfortunately. Like, I wish that weren't the case. But I really kind of think that he gets just treated like shit. He's supposed to be Michael's main caretaker, and yet they don't even tell him that they're moving him. It just seems disrespectful to the character. Then they're just, I don't know, it's a lot of just like, okay, Loomis, you're being silly. When clearly Loomis has a lot invested in this. I mean, look at his face, but I don't know. I wish that they just treated him with a little more respect. Because by like the other films, he just doesn't even deserve the respect. So I kind of get it. All right, number 4. This is controversial. The Curse of Michael Myers. Yes, I know. And I should say, asterisk here. Producer's cut. I don't have an issue with the theatrical cut. If you were to tell me that, okay, Tyler, you cannot have the theatrical cut or producer, like, you just have to do theatrical. Producer's cut is not, it's not officially canon, it's not officially anything, so if that were the case, then let's see. Then I would probably put this it would drop back to number 8. Right between Halloween 5 and Halloween 2. Because the theatrical version is just, it's just not it's too MTV and just gets rid of some of the subtlety. And I guess my biggest thing is I really dislike the editing of the theatrical version. There's too much like just quick cutting, and I don't like that. It bugs me. So it just kind of comes across as lazy, and yeah, kind of, again, undercuts like every single moment that's supposed to be scary, especially the Michael stuff. Because they're just like, oh, here's Michael, here, cut a bunch, makes it so scary, makes it scary. Doesn't make it scary, makes it just silly. But the producer's cut, I think, really slows things down, and we're able to see what was originally intended. While it's not completely what was intended, you still get to see enough of it. And I guess the one positive that the theatrical version does have over this is that they went, like, because the Weinsteins, they went in and re-edited and they actually filmed new footage for this. Yes, that's right. New footage. I know that there's some people that really dislike the Cult of Thorn stuff. I'm not one of them. I don't have, I don't know. I don't really have anything good or bad to say. Like, I don't know. You can see what the series would have been without it. I absolutely prefer the Michael that's more presented in the original and the Michael that's presented in the David Gordon Green film. But I'm not a fan of this weird cult thing that's going on. However, with that in mind, I don't mind it. If you have to give a reason for all of this nonsense, then with whatever, I can deal with that. Do I agree with the whole idea that the Cult of Thorn had Michael rape Jamie and that's the baby? No, I don't agree with that in any way at all. No. Oh, and I do have to say that I quite enjoy Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle, though. Oh, okay. I know we're gonna talk about this later, but are you guys telling me you can't see this Paul Rudd Tommy Doyle become like radicalized? Because I can. This is someone who's been traumatized and is like looking for a cause. Like, I don't know. It makes sense that he would be that wacko. So I don't have an issue with what they ended up doing with him in Halloween Kills. Which, speaking of which, we're at number 3, which means we gotta talk about it. Halloween Kills. Now, should be the last video that's up on this channel, unless I did a Last Night in Soho review, which I doubt I was able to get done before this video came out because it's not coming out anywhere. Literally not coming out anywhere that I am around. Yeah, if you want to see more, I still want to have my opinion in here. I'm just trying to give you more, direct you if you want more more on this. So again, my last video on here should be the Halloween Kills review. So if you want more of my opinion on this stuff, then yeah, check that out. Now I'm gonna have to look at, I got the sun coming in on my, it's like peeking through, so now I gotta dodge this damn thing. It's just gonna be on my face most of the time. Ugh, it is in the worst placement. Plus it just keeps like going across my vision. Okay, can I move forward a little bit? Okay, I think I'm okay. That works. Just a little bit more forward seemed to have solved that problem. I think I'm like slightly on the side. The sound I don't know, it might sound weird now. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, Halloween Kills. So I was discussing this with a buddy of mine, and this is how I kind of view this film. So Halloween 2018 was a tribute to Carpenter's original in pretty much every way. Very much just got to show a lot of long glide cam shots, the steady cam shots, slower pace that kind of set up part one. And then there's like little bits of 2 in there. Halloween Kills I kind of view as a tribute to the middle films. You got like the 2, the 4, the 6. So you don't have to agree to this, but I think that that's why this film works as well as it does. Because of that. Because it's not trying to recreate the stuff from Carpenter's film, which they did so well in 2018. This is trying to do more of its own thing, and just it's called Halloween Kills, so clearly the kills were the main focus, and I think the kills are the main focus. Like that's how it appears, and so there's a lot of kills, and I think most of them work well. I don't think any of them are like out of character. It's a little crazy that, you know, Michael's able to kill an entire fire department and then like all the people, but whatever. It's whatever. It's a fucking slasher movie. Michael kills a lot of fucking people. I'm not gonna have an issue with it. I don't know. The kills were cool. I liked that they did some weird slow motion shutter speed weirdness going on. Like I liked all of that. I will say I didn't like the hospital stuff. Like pretty much any of the hospital stuff was just too much. The whole getting it's not Michael nonsense with the other inmate, like that was stupid. Most of the I think Laurie was pretty wasted, but I like that they brought back what's his name and what, I can't even think. Will Myers, is that what it is? Sheriff Will Myers. I'm probably wrong. But then also the flashback scene, awesome, so cool. Loved seeing that. Fuck, I don't want to. Okay, this isn't getting into spoilers, so I'm not gonna get into spoilers. We're just gonna move on. If you want to hear some opinions on some spoilers, then we'll see. Also, I'm supposed to record a podcast soon with the buddy that gets into David Gordon Green's Halloween films. So if that's posted, when that gets posted, I'll put that in the link below, because that's likely going to be at least like an hour of us dissecting those movies. Yeah. Then number 2, Halloween 2018. This film blew my mind. You can see I have the reaction of me getting back from the theater and immediately reviewing it. I loved it so much. It is, to this day, a film that I can put on and just adore. it's even thinking of it now, like everything, the music is really what the highlight for me. And I think I love the music so much that it's kind of something that now I notice more in horror films, where usually I would just kind of like, I notice it, but now I'm like dialed in. Now, if a film has very generic music, it will kind of lessen the overall impact for me, which is ridiculous, but it does, and it's all because of this film. So can't say how impactful it is. And like, I wanted it to get nominated for an Oscar. That's how much I fucking loved this score. And yeah, that's how crazy I am. But yeah, then I don't know, there's just so much to enjoy with this. If you probably have noticed, I try to give you like a bit of the pros and the cons. And so my con for this movie would be the new Loomis. Like, the new Loomis sucks. I don't like that. It's fine if you do. I thought that it just wasn't pulled off as well as I wanted it to be. But I like in that, how else are they gonna get Michael to Laurie? Because they've established that Michael doesn't really care about Laurie. So I don't know. I think that it was a very good way to do it. And it's honestly, it also makes me even more intrigued for how they'll finish it up with Halloween Ends. Because I think that's one of the best parts, is that this has really become quite the trilogy of films. Like, really 4 films, but the Halloween series has always been very hard to like binge, because it's like you're always like, well, do we do the regular timeline where you're watching like 1, 2, skip 3, then 4, 5, 6, H2O Resurrection, like that's the main one, and then are you then just doing the zombie ones, or are you gonna then now do the David Gordon Green ones, which I think is a more, I don't know, satisfying way to do it, because, well, for one, it's very succinct. You're not having to watch quite as many movies, but then I just think it's a very satisfying narrative arc. So just from watching the first one, 2018, Kills, then Ends, which obviously I don't know, Ends could really end up sucking. Like, I have no idea. We'll see like a year from now, which is it's probably when I should have done this ranking video, because once that comes out, then there's not going to be a new one for a decent amount of time. So it would at least make this relevant for longer, but oh well, that's very like me to come to that realization at, minute 40, whatever the hell this is. Okay. You guys already know what number 1 is. It should be the number 1 on every single ranking, like, of the Halloween series. If it's not, then shame on you. It's obviously John Carpenter's Halloween. It's so good. I wish that they managed to, I don't know, release a version that looks like how it did when I watched it as a kid, because it is so cool now, as in like it, like legitimately, like the color, it's not the warm color that I remember, which is bullshit. Why is it not? Dean Cundey claims that this is what they originally wanted, but I refuse to believe that. Doesn't look as good. Just doesn't. Sorry, Dean. Please switch it back so that we have actual orange leaves again. It bugs me so much every time they announce a new like edition. So with the 4K that just came out from Shout Factory, that was one of the first things I looked into. And it's just never gonna be what I want. I'm kind of officially convinced that I'm just going to have to go in and color time it myself to get that look that I loved from the original airings, I guess, because I watched it originally probably on FX and AMC. Is now just HD broadcast. Something, that warmness is gone. It's so frustrating. Get your shit together. Get your shit together. I like how for this ranking I get to the ultimate film, the number 1, and it's just me bitching about random shit. That seems about right. Yep, seems about right to me. But yeah, everything with this film is incredible. It's just top of the line, top to bottom. The cinematography, and I mean, the cinematography is something that has molded my taste for the rest of my life. I can't say enough about what Dean Cundey and Carpenter did with that Steadicam. It's just phenomenal and mind-blowing, and yeah, there's just so much with this film that I can't say enough good things about because it's just that fucking good. I put this on multiple times a year. Every October, I watch this every Halloween. Every single Halloween. This video going out, I will have watched Halloween. It's inevitable. Hopefully it's inevitable for you too. Hopefully you didn't get too pissed off seeing this list. I can't imagine you did. I don't think I'm too I'm always so like not wanting to offend, but it's not, I don't know. I don't think there's anything here that would send anyone into too much of a tizzy. I think my most controversial opinion is that I'm not huge into Halloween 2, and I think Curse is pretty decent. So sue me. But yeah, that's really all. Let me know what your rankings for this series are. I'm always curious to see what other people's are. That's really all. Hope that you guys have a wonderful Halloween, and yeah, take it easy.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.